Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about why you should hire an attorney who specializes in a particular field of law. My name is Michael Weiser from MW Law Firm. I'm a personal injury attorney who at the time of the making of this video is licensed to practice in California and Washington State. So let's talk about why you should hire an attorney who specializes. Now, you or someone you may know an attorney, say in the family or by acquaintance, and you kind of think of them as maybe Uncle Joe, the attorney, and they may know the law in a general sense. Certainly, every lawyer in law school has taken a wide range of classes. For example, I had to take criminal law and family law and contract law and a variety of other courses that is the general curriculum in any law school education. But just because you took those courses in law school doesn't mean you're really qualified in those areas once you come out of law school and once you have a practice going. Typically what happens is lawyers specialize in maybe one, two, maybe a maximum of 3 areas of law, because each area of law has its specific nuances and rules, and it's pretty in-depth. So while you do have people who generally practice a whole range of things and they might even be very good at it, I always try to tell people if they're looking for a specific thing, whether it be personal injury, I tell them to come to me because I know that area very well. If they're looking for family law, I can refer them to someone, or employment law, and on and on and on. So that's why I kind of think that it's better to go to a specialist rather than Uncle Joe the lawyer or just a general practitioner. And I think people need to think about it in terms of doctors, for example. For some reason, people think that, going to any lawyer, they're going to know the answer to a legal problem. And that's not necessarily the case if they don't specialize in that area. And just like doctors, you may have a general practitioner that you go to or primary care physician for your overall health. But if you had a heart issue, God forbid, you need to go to a specialist like a cardiologist, or if you had a foot problem, a podiatrist, or an eye problem, an ophthalmologist. Well, it's kind of the same thing in law. You want someone who specializes in a particular area. I'm going to give you an example. Even I need to go to specialists sometimes when it comes to legal issues. For example, I had a few clients come to me recently who were injured in a boat accident. And while you may think it said, oh, Michael, you're a personal injury attorney, they were injured, even though it was on a boat, it's not a car or a motorcycle, they were injured, and you can help them. Well, yes, but there's a couple of things that you're not really thinking of or maybe don't know to look for, and that is that any accident that happens on the seas, it's maritime law. It's not necessarily personal injury law, it's maritime law, and that's controlled by federal law, not state law where I practice most of the time. So that's one issue. The other issue is it happened in a different jurisdiction from where I'm licensed. So I had to think of that. I mean, while it was still in California, I'm licensed to practice generally in all state courts of California and the district court for the Central District, and this happened in the Southern District of California. That was the jurisdiction. So I needed a lawyer who was able to practice in that particular jurisdiction in maritime law, which is a specialty unto itself. So I needed to go to a specialist in that case on behalf of my clients. Now, there's also, I get these kind of cases all the time where someone was injured on the job. And so someone might think, well, that's an injury, so they can come to me. And it's true, they could come to me, but it's also, if they were injured at work, they need a workers' compensation attorney, and that's an area which I don't practice in. So I have people that I can refer them to who do practice workers' compensation law, and they also happen to practice personal injury law as well. But that's just another example of why you would need a specialist, which kind of brings me to my third point that I'm going to make in this video, and that is that some lawyers, I mentioned before, they practice 1 or 2 or up to 3 areas of law, generally speaking, and there are combinations that go together. So if you have a case, and I'm just going to give you an example here, a case where you have a will or a trust that needs to be administered and there's property involved, or there's family issues involved, then typically a combination that would deal with all that is a lawyer who practices wills and trusts, property, and family law. And those are kind of combinations that go together. They often have interwoven issues. So you can find an attorney who specializes in those areas that I think would be the best fit for you. Likewise, there are many different combinations. For example, business lawyers who also do appellate work, or people who do business and wills and trusts, or personal injury and employment and business law. There are all kinds of different combinations. So just be aware of that if you have multiple issues like personal injury, criminal, whatever it may be. Just look for attorneys who maybe, if you have multiple issues, practice a combination of different areas that are appropriate for what you're looking for. So those are my takes on why you should hire an attorney who specializes in a particular area. There's one other little thing I want to mention, though, before I close here, and that is the word specialist has a special meaning in the legal field, and that is that sometimes an attorney can get certified or specialize in a particular area of the law, and that's done usually through the state bar or special courses. So just be aware, if someone claims to be a specialist, you can ask them about those credentials if they're licensed by the state or they have a true specialization in those areas, rather than just practicing in 1, 2, or 3 areas of law, which I would call more of a focus. It's my mistake if I called it a specialty before. I kind of use that term loosely, but I would probably characterize it as more of a focus or focus area. So in any event, those are my thoughts on hiring an attorney who specializes. If you found this video interesting, informative, and helpful, please consider liking, sharing, following, and subscribing. Remember that the information in this video is for informational purposes only. You should always seek out a competent attorney in your jurisdiction for legal advice, as your particular facts and issues and jurisdictional laws may vary. If you need to contact me or ask me a question, feel free to look in the description below. If you're watching this video on YouTube, my contact information is there. If you're watching this on some other social media platform, my contact information is also readily available. So until next time, thanks for watching the How to Pick a Specialist Attorney video, and thanks to everybody who has liked, shared, followed, and subscribed. See you next time.